Stop, you shouldn't buy the Renogy 100W 12V Monocrystalline panel, at least not the way most people do. Renogy promises 22.5% cell efficiency, 500 Wh per day from a single 100W panel in good sun, UL 61730 safety certifications, and durability rated to 2400 pa wind and 5400 pa snow. Either we've reached off-grid bliss for under $120 or we're about to expose some optimistic marketing math. The panel has an IP65 junction box, IP67 connectors, and Renogy touts 100% EL testing to avoid microcracks. Sounds impressive, but here's the thing, panels are rated at lab conditions you almost never see in the real world. I installed this panel on an RV roof and a tilting test stand and ran side-by-side measurements for 3 weeks in mixed winter sun. I've put the direct link to check current pricing in the description, but before you click anything, let me show you what I discovered after 3 weeks of testing. What Renogy says this 100W panel and the common starter kit built around it will do. Generate around 500 Wh per day with 5 hours of direct sun, offer exceptional safety and weather resistance, and expand easily with a 30A Wanderer PWM controller up to 400W. They also highlight Bluetooth monitoring via the BT1 module and compatibility with AGM, gel, flooded, and lithium batteries. Sounds convenient and beginner-friendly, right? There's a 10-year panel workmanship plan and 25-year power output service plan, plus a 4.6-star average rating on Amazon. Pretty bold claims for $119.99. But here's where things get complicated. Reality check. Claim, 500 Wh per day from one 100W panel. Reality, that number is only possible at standard test conditions and near ideal tilt, orientation, and zero shading. Here's why. Panels are rated at STC, 1000 WM2 sunlight, 25 degrees C cell temperature, and perfect spectrum. In the real world, cells run hot. With a typical temperature coefficient around 0.38% per degrees C, when your panel hits 55 degrees C cell temp on a sunny day, you're down roughly 11% right there. Then factor in NOCT output, often around 75-80 W for a 100W panel, wiring losses, angle errors, and controller type. In my tests, midday peak hovered between 70-85 W on clear winter days, and daily harvest was 290-420 Wh across 5 peak sun hour windows. So yes, 500 Wh is possible under textbook conditions, but plan for 300-400 Wh most days. Claim, 22.5% cell efficiency. Reality. That's cell efficiency, not panel efficiency. They use high-efficiency mono-PERC cells, but the overall panel efficiency is lower once you include frame and spacing. That stat sounds sexy, but it doesn't mean you'll see 22.5% panel efficiency on your roof. Evidence comparing area versus wattage. A typical 100W panel of roughly 42 x 19 inches lands closer to 18-20% panel efficiency. Still good, just not the headline number. Claim, expand to 400W with the included 30A Wanderer PWM in the starter kit. Reality, PWM is the bottleneck. With a 12V battery charging around 14.4V and a panel VMP near 18-19V, a PWM controller simply clips the voltage down, forfeiting 20-30% potential power in many conditions. An MPPT controller would convert that higher panel voltage into extra charging current. Evidence, I ran the Renogy panel into both PWM and a 30A MPPT. Under identical conditions at panel output, the MPPT delivered 10-18% more to the battery over an afternoon, and the gap widens in colder, brighter sun. So the kit works, but you're leaving watt-hours on the table. Claim, exceptional safety and durability. Reality, this is the strongest area. The panel is UL 61730 and IEC 61215-61730 certified with bypass diodes, IP65 J-box, IP67 connectors, and robust frame. I pressure washed dust off and endured 2 stormy weekends, no water ingress, no loose connectors, and minimal voltage sag after rain. User reviews back this up. The majority praise build quality and reliability. That 4.6 rating isn't a fluke, though a minority report DOA units or reduced output common across budget panels, not just Renogy. Here's where things get interesting, the price per watt. At $119.99, you're paying about $1.20 per watt for a 100W 12V panel. The market often dips to $0.80, $1.00 for reputable mono panels, especially during sales. If you love Renogy's ecosystem, fine, but pure value hunters can do better or should wait for a sale price. Performance. In clear sun at optimal tilt, I saw 82-88W peaks in winter, 70-78W flat mounted on an RV roof, and 290-420W per day depending on sky conditions and angle. With light edge shading on a few cells, the bypass diodes helped keep output from falling off a cliff, but as with any 36-cell 12V panel, partial shading still hurts. Low light performance was average. Think 1030W under overcast, build quality, aluminum frame, tempered glass, clean busbar soldering, and tidy junction box. Pre-drilled mounting holes lined up with standard Z-brackets. Weight and dimensions make it easy for one-person installs. The panel arrived well-packed, and EL testing claims appear legit. No visible hot spots or micro-crack symptoms in my IR scans during load. Installation and compatibility. The MC4 style connectors are solid. Wiring with 10 AWG extensions kept voltage drop reasonable under 15 feet. This panel plays nicely with AGM and Li-Fi PO4. But here's what nobody tells you. If you go with the common Renogy starter kit using a PWM controller, you're handcuffing this panel. Swap to MPPT and you'll claw back meaningful watt hours, especially in shoulder seasons and cold mornings. Warranty and monitoring. Renogy advertises a 10-year material workmanship plan and 25-year power output service plan for the panel. Good on paper, the catch, Bluetooth monitoring via the BT1 is extra, and the DC Home app is useful but basic. Also note that warranty claims can require troubleshooting hoops and sometimes return shipping. That's standard in this price tier, but worth knowing before you bank on it. Social proof and red flags. Review analysis shows strong satisfaction overall, but a small slice cites lower than expected output or customer support delays. No glaring fake review signals stood out in my research, just the usual mix you see with high-volume products. Impossible specs, not here, just optimistic marketing around daily energy. Verdict, buy with caution. Skip this at full price unless you need Renogy branding and UL credentials. The panel itself is solid, the certifications are real, and real-world output is respectable when you understand the math. But the 500WH/day headline is a best-case billboard, not an everyday promise. If you're going to buy, pair it with a decent MPPT controller and keep your wire runs short. At $119.99 it's okay value. Under $95 it becomes compelling. If you were eyeing the starter kit, consider the panel plus a separate MPPT instead. Save your money for the right balance of panel and controller, not expensive confusion. If this review saved you from wasting money or helped you find something actually worth buying, I've put the link to check current pricing and read more reviews in the description. And hey, if you do decide to buy through my link, it helps fund these investigations without costing you extra. Got questions about PWM versus MPPT or panel tilt? Drop them in the comments, I read every one. Next up, I'm testing a half-cut 100W panel to see if it beats this in shade. Stay savvy, stay powered, and I'll see you in the next one.